Everyone online talks about the Caro-Kann like it's the secret strategy printed in the fine print of a grandmaster's hidden contract. Fantastic. Proud of them. But if you're the type of player who prefers winning games instead of building a perfect little pawn triangle and doing nothing for 20 moves, then today I'll show you the two knights system. It's aggressive, it's tricky, it punishes lazy Caro-Kann players, and in many cases, they lose and still don't understand why. That's the point. Let's look at how to start it. We play e4, they play c6. We bring our first knight out and they play d5, and instead of the usual d4, do we play the strange move knight to f3. It looks harmless, but this small detail changes everything. You bring an extra piece into the game faster, which means more pressure, more traps, and more headaches for black, which is good. In this position, most Caro-Kann players will take on e4. We recapture, we develop fast, and black suddenly has to prove they know more than one move of theory. They develop the knight, and instead of trading pieces and letting black get the boring, dry equal position they want, we play queen 2. Black wants to play knight d7 and recapture with the knight, except they can't. Why? Because this pawn is actually pinned, meaning if they play knight to d7, we play knight to d6, and it is actually checkmate. They can't take back with the e-pawn. But black avoids disaster feeling like a real grandmaster and takes on e4. We recapture with the queen, and black suddenly realizes that they can't really develop the bishop comfortably, and their knight doesn't have good squares. So what would you do in this position as black? That's right. You immediately press the resign button. Okay. Maybe they won't resign, but let's continue. They will most likely develop the knight and look to go to f6 to poke our queen around. But we just develop our bishop. They develop the knight, and we bring our queen back. Now, most Caro-Kann-minded players will try and stick to their normal moves and play bishop to g4, pinning your knight to the queen. But this is already a huge mistake, because now we play bishop to f7 check. They take it and we play knight to e5, forking the king and the bishop, winning our piece back, and we are completely dominating in this position. You're up in material, your attack continues because they have a weak king, and they will be praying for the 50-move rule. But you might be wondering, what happens when black develops the bishop? Because they develop the bishop. And we move back, attacking the bishop. They drop back, and we start pushing this pawn to try and trap this bishop. But they play h6, making an escape square for their piece. And now we play the weird move knight to e5. They will move the bishop back, and we will play queen to h5, threatening this weird scholar's mate, checkmate on f7. Of course, they notice this, but they push, trying to get our queen to go away. But we completely ignore our hanging queen and play the move bishop to c4. The point is that if black were to take the queen, we would have bishop to f7 checkmate. But I already hear you saying my opponent will never fall for that. Well, then he will play a 6 and we just drop the queen back. And the funny thing is, in this position, is that it does not matter what piece they want to develop. They are almost all mistakes. Because let's say they move the knight to here. Then we sacrifice our knight. They have to take it because of this fork. And now we come in with the queen. And the same sacrifice counts for almost every single one of their normal developing moves. But let's look at one more line. What happens if they push the pawn? Is that not just better for black because they squeeze our position? Definitely not. It is actually a worse move for them then to take our pawn. But let's just look at how to punish them if they push. We start by playing knight to e2, immediately attacking this pawn twice. They have no real way to defend it, so they defend it with this pawn. Now we are going to be annoying and attack the pawn again with c3. And in this position, it is very tempting to push the pawn again and try to get this annoying pawn into our position. But don't worry, we just move our knight to f4, attacking the pawn again. They have pushed so much that they will probably push again. And now comes the sneaky trap. We give this check with our queen attacking the king and the pawn at the same time. Now they will have to block the check. And we grab the first pawn. Now they move their bishop, but we are still attacking the pawn twice. We take it, they take our queen, and we recapture with the bishop and get in a totally winning position, being up 2 pawns. Now send this to Gotham Chess subs to make them cry, and try out this video if you think you can beat these positions. Goodbye, sweethearts.